to Lights Out at Houston Public Library. Today I'm going to tell you a fairy tale, different than most you've heard, called The Juniper Tree by the brothers Grimm. Long ago, over 3,000 years ago, there was a rich man that had a beautiful and pious wife, and they loved each other dearly, but they had no children. Oh, the wife prayed and prayed for children, but they didn't come. Then, in front of their house, there was a juniper tree. And one day, she went out with an apple and was peeling it and cut herself, and the blood fell on the snow. "Oh," she said, "if only I had a child as red as blood and as white as snow." And then, as she said it, she became quite contented and felt sure it was going to happen. And in the year ahead, she was content. In 1 month there was snow. In 2 months there was green, and then flowers. And 4th month there was birds and green leaves. The 5th month the juniper tree was her place of refuge, and there her heart leaped with joy. The 6th month there was flowers and fruit. And the 7th month she picked the juniper berries and ate them greedily. And then she grew sick and sorrowful. But on the 8th month, she called to her husband and said, "If I die, bury me beneath the juniper tree." And she was quite comforted and happy until the next month was over and she had a child, as red as blood and as white as snow. And when she saw it, she was so happy, she died. Her husband buried her underneath the juniper tree and wept bitterly. And after some time, when he still cried, he bared it. And then he married another woman. And with that woman he had a daughter named Marlene. But the first wife's child was a boy. And he was as red as blood and as white as snow. The woman looked at her daughter, and she loved her very much. But she looked at the boy, and it pierced her heart as though she thought he stood in her way. And she was always thinking that he would ruin the inheritance for her daughter. And the evil one filled her mind until she was very angry with the boy, and she'd push him in a corner, and she'd slap him and cuff him, until the boy was always afraid to come home, and he had no place for peace. Well, one day, the woman had gone upstairs to her room when her daughter came in and said, "Mother, give me an apple." "Here, child." And so she opened a heavy chest and gave her the apple. Now, the chest had a heavy lid with a large iron lock. "Mother, is brother to have one too?" said the girl. The woman was angry. "Well, yes, when he comes home from school." And then from the window she saw him coming, and the evil one came over her, and she grabbed the apple and took it away from the daughter. "You shall not have one before your brother." And she threw it back in the chest. When the boy came in, the evil one made her say kindly, "My son, do you want an apple?" And she looked at him fiercely. "Mother, how angry you look," he said. "Yes, give me the apple." It seemed to her as if she would persuade him. "Come with me," opening the lid of the chest. "Take your apple out yourself." And while the boy leaned over, the evil one prompted her, and crash! She slammed down the lid, and his head fell off, falling among the red apples. Then fear overcame her, and she thought, maybe I should get out of this. And so she went upstairs and got a scarf and tied it around the neck, attaching the head to the body. Then she set him on a chair in front of a door and put the apple in his hand. When Marlene came to the kitchen, the woman was standing by the fire, mixing the water, stirring and stirring. "Mother, brother is sitting at the door, and he looks totally white and has an apple in his hand. I asked him to give it to me, but he didn't answer, and I'm very frightened." "Go back to him, and if he doesn't answer, box his ears." So Marlene went up and said, "Brother, give me the apple." But when he was silent, she gave him a box on the ears, and his head fell off. Marlene was terrified and began crying and screaming and ran to her mother. "Oh, Mother, I have knocked the head off brother." And she cried and cried. "Marlene, what have you done? Be quiet and don't let anyone know what has happened. We cannot be helped. We will cook him in the stew." And so the woman took the boy and chopped him in pieces, put him in this pot, and cooked him in the stew. But Marlene cried and cried, and her tears fell in the pot, and there was no need for additional salt. When the father came home, he sat at the table. "Where is my son?" Well, the mother served him a large portion of stew, and Marlene cried and could not stop. "Where is my son?" "Oh, he has gone across the country to his mother's great uncle. He will stay a little while." "Well, what is he doing there? He did not even say goodbye to me." "Well, he wanted to go, and I asked him if he would stay 6 months. He is well taken care of there." "Well, I am unhappy. It isn't right. He should have said goodbye to me." And with that, he said, "Marlene, why are you crying? Your brother will certainly come back." "Wife, this food is delicious. Give me more." And so he ate and ate and ate, and he threw the bones under the table until he was all finished. Well, Marlene, she went to her room and got a beautiful scarf and picked up all the bones and gathered them into the scarf and took it outside. Then she laid them down beneath the juniper tree on the grass. And after she put them there, she felt better and did not cry anymore. And the juniper tree began to move. The branches moved apart, then moved together again, just as if someone were rejoicing and clapping their hands. At the same time, the mist seemed to rise from the tree, and in the midst of this mist there burned like fire, and a beautiful bird flew out of the fire, singing magnificently, and it was red and green, and it flew high into the air, and when it was gone, the juniper tree was just as it had been before, and the cloth with the bones was no longer there. Marlene, however, was as happy and contented if her brother had still been alive, and she merrily went back home and ate. Well, the bird flew away and lit on a goldsmith's house and sang, "My mother, she killed me. My father, he ate me. My sister Marlene gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am." The goldsmith was sitting in his workshop making a golden chain when he heard the bird. This song was so beautiful, he stood up and he started out with only one shoe on and one sock, and his leather apron still on him, and the gold chain still in his hand. He walked toward the bird and said, "Bird, how beautiful you sing. Sing me that piece again." "No, I will not sing twice for nothing. Give me the golden chain and I will sing you again." "Here is the golden chain. Now sing me that song again." And the bird took the chain and put it on her right claw, and then she sat before the goldsmith. "My mother, she killed me. My father, he ate me. My sister Marlene gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am." Then the bird flew to the shoemaker and lit on his roof and sang the same song. Hearing this, the shoemaker ran outdoors with his shirt sleeves and looked at his roof, and when he saw the bird, he said, "Oh, bird, how beautifully you sing." Then his wife came out, and his daughter and his children and the journeyman and the apprentice and the maid, and they all sat in the street and looked at the bird and saw how beautiful he was and what the fine feathers he had and how his neck was like pure gold. "Bird, sing that song for me again," said the shoemaker. "No, I will not sing twice for nothing. You must give me something." "Wife, go into the shop. There is a pair of red shoes on the top shelf. Bring them here." "Here, bird, now sing to me." And the bird came and took the shoes in his left claw and flew to the roof. "My mother, she killed me. My father, he ate me. My sister Marlene gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am." When he finished his song, he flew, the right claw with the chain and the left claw with the shoes. He flew far away to the mill, and the mill went clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. In the mill, there was 20 miller apprentices cutting a stone and chiseling, chip-chop, chip-chop, chip-chop. And the mill was going clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Well, the bird sang his song, and one by one, the apprentices stopped working until the song was finished. "Bird," they all said, "how beautifully you sing. Let me hear it again. Sing me once more." No, I will not sing twice for nothing. Give me the millstone and I will sing again. Yes, if it belonged to me, he should have it. The others said, Oh, he shall have it. We must have him sing again. And so the bird came over, and the 20 millers took the beam and lifted the stone up. Heave ho, heave ho, heave ho. The bird stuck his neck through the hole and put the stone as if it were a collar, and then flew to the tree and sang, My mother, she killed me. My father, he ate me. My sister, Marlene, gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am. When he'd finished, he spread his wings, the chain in one hand and the shoes in the other, and the millstone around his neck, and he flew to his father's house. There was his father, his mother, and Marlene at the table. His father said, I feel so contented. I am so happy. Not I, said the woman. I feel ill at ease as if there were a storm was coming. Marlene just sat and cried. Then the bird flew up, and as it seated on the roof, the father said, I feel so happy, and the sun is shining so beautifully. I feel as if an old acquaintance were coming. Not I. I am so afraid my teeth are chattering, and I feel as if there's fire in my veins. And Marlene was weeping still. Then the bird sat on the juniper tree and sang, My mother, he killed me. The mother stopped her ears and shut her eyes, not wanting to see or hear, but still her eyes burned and her ears were roaring. My father, he ate me. Oh, mother, said the father, what a beautiful bird. Their song is so splendid and the sun is shining. I love it. My sister Marlene. Marlene laid her head on her knees and cried, but the man said, I'm going out. I must see this bird up close. Don't go. I feel as the whole house were shaking and on fire. The man went out and looked at the bird, gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am. With that, the bird dropped the golden chain, and it fell right on the man's neck and looked so beautifully. Just look at that beautiful bird and the beautiful chain he gave me, said the father. But the woman was terrified. She fell down on the ground and her cap fell off, and the bird sang the song again. My mother, she killed me. I wish I had 10,000s beneath earth that I might not hear this. My father, he ate me. The woman fell as if she were dead. My sister, Marlene. Oh, said Marlene, I too will go out and see if the bird can give me something. Gathered all my bones, tied them in a silken scarf. He threw the shoes down on her, laid them 'neath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird I am. Then Marlene was contented and happy. She tried on the shoes and then danced and leaped into the house. Oh, I was so sad when I went out, but now I'm contented. What a splendid bird. He gave me these shoes. No, said the woman, jumping to her feet with her hair standing up like fire. I feel as if the world is coming to an end. I must go out and see if it makes me feel any better. But as she went to the door, crash! The bird threw the millstone on her head and crushed her to death. The father and Marlene heard it and went out. Smoke, flames, and fire were rising from the place, and when it was over, the little brother was standing there, and he took his father and Marlene by the hand, and all three were very happy and went into the house, sat down to table, and ate. The end.